Well, I had to finish it.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-oh. Sorry, Nick. You got to reconnect your Facebook.
You said I didn't.
It disappeared off my screen. Do you see the warning?
It's still there.
Well, just play the intro song while you do that.
I am. I'm just letting you know. Nick's Facebook is not live.
Welcome to the Undrafted, Uncensored cast of Pod. Hosted by Nick Archuleta. Mosted by Colin Zanger. And last but certainly is least, Joseph Goodwin.
Welcome in, everyone, to Undrafted, Uncensored, where I think Colin is tapping into the technology here and making it so that I have to do stuff so he can take over as host of the show.
Yes, that's my total purpose in life. I was lying to Nick to distract him because his Facebook was not working. I clicked it and your name disappeared like it reconnected. That's why I said, I think when I reconnected our Undrafted Uncensored, if you're watching on Facebook, thank you. Like, subscribe. Well, like and share. If you're on YouTube, like, share, subscribe.
Yep.
If you're anywhere else, whatever, just like, follow us. We appreciate all of you doing that. And I'm sure you can follow Nick. I'm sure you can follow Nick on there here soon. So
we got the green check. We're good now. We're good.
I hope so.
Oh, I hope you don't sign me out again.
Oh,
just so you can try to take over.
He's got the check mark, and my time of taking over is over.
All right, guys, I'm taking
Dallas
over.
Cowboys playoff hopes and the New Orleans Saints playoff hopes.
Oh, we knew those were over.
And the Las Vegas Raiders.
Low
hanging fruit. Too easy.
You never know when you get a coach like Pete Carroll.
Seattle. I mean,
what do you mean?
Hope he wakes up every day.
What? Pete Carroll's a good coach. Are you saying he's not a good coach?
No, I'm not saying he's a bad coach. I'm saying he's going to the Raiders.
Yeah.
That's a death sentence.
So was the Chargers until it wasn't.
The Seahawks were also not that great either for a while there, Nick.
Yeah, like as long as he's not getting.
This is the Raiders. There's a whole different can of worms with this.
This is the Mark Davis Raiders.
This is Mark Davis.
He doesn't care. He's going to let him do whatever.
Jerry Jones Jr. at this point.
No, that was Al Davis. Jerry Jones is Al Davis Jr. Mark isn't going to fuck with him at all.
Yeah,
Mark just lets him go. The problem with Mark is that he is too trusting. He's almost
like he's a
little Pat Bowlen, but doesn't know why that Pat Bowlen did all those things of giving people power and stepping back and letting them do shit. He also hires dumb people. And he tried to right his mistake of firing Rich Bisaccia by keeping the wrong guy in Antonio Pierce. I don't foresee that being a dumpster fire yet. Or if it is, I think it's because of the roster. So we'll see who they get to come play quarterback. But like Vegas is a nice city. You get to hang out with Tom Brady all the time. They're going to be able to get somebody. Like they're not going to be slouches next year, but they might not be good.
I've had to go to Vegas for trainings the last couple of years, and I don't know if it's just because I'm not 20-something going to clubs and getting hammered, but the food's good. Don't get me wrong. I can walk around Vegas all day and eat.
But you're there for work too. Like if you went down there and partied, it'd be a lot different.
I got 4 things to tell you: Sapphire, Crazy Horse, the Spearmint Rhino, and the Palomino Club.
Don't do them. Why am I going to pay to get teased?
I'm pretty sure they're paying more than enough to not just get teased.
Not worth it.
No, Vegas, and I'm telling you, from being down at that stadium earlier this year, it's a beautiful stadium. They have it set up really well.
It
feels like for the game day. I told you guys the game day atmosphere is phenomenal for how terrible they were. I know it was a Broncos Raiders game that I was at, but it was still a amazing atmosphere to go to and experience. And Raiders fans, like the other thing too that you forget is I know they're dumpster fire. They know they're dumpster fire. you said it with Mark Davis having too much, like he's too trusting in guys. He's giving Pete Carroll carte blanche on whatever the hell he wants to do. So that means he's going to bring in guys. And we also have to remember the fact that a lot of people are Raiders fans growing up just by like osmosis or whatever. You know, they're kind of born into it. Like people just were Raiders fans. Maybe less so now than in like the 90s. But there are still a lot of those people who are Raiders fans just because they're the Raiders. And we can't deny that the Raiders have a gigantic fan base.
Yeah, but when we grew up, we had Ronnie Lott, we had Bo Jackson, Marcus Allen. I mean, the Raiders were a talented team, and they had Art Shell out there coaching. And, it doesn't matter who you were at that time. When you were younger, Bo Jackson was the guy.
And also, most of those fans are in Oakland, not Vegas anymore.
But it's still just Raiders Nation. But to go to your point, Nick, how many bad years do the Broncos have, and how many great fans do the Broncos have?
I mean, it's been my whole life. That's all I've known is orange and blue.
Yeah, and Broncos are one of the better traveled fan bases too. Like, we have a lot of fans in other cities. I wouldn't put them up there with the
Pittsburgh.
Steelers or the Cowboys or even the Raiders. But definitely, I'd probably say top 5. They might be number 5, but fuck it, that's still top 5. Let's go.
Yeah, but I'm just talking like you're talking about these down years that the Raiders have had, and it really, like, it doesn't matter how many down years you have. When you had a run like you did, you have fan bases that are families, and then families, have their children become fans. Because your parents sat through the shitty 70s.
Oh yeah.
So, like we were at the tail end once the Broncos got John Elway and things started to look up, going to Super Bowls, even getting blown out in Super Bowls. But that didn't mean that the fandom got lost. And there is, like I said, there's something to be said that the Raiders fandom is much larger than the Broncos. And it also extends to, rap and, Run DMC and starter jackets and hip hop and just
NWA,
the Raiders logo. I mean,
Madden.
And they've been Madden. Yeah. John Madden, John Madden playing the game Madden, Bo Jackson. You said it. There's so many people
Nike.
who are Raiders fans just because they saw Raiders all over the place. So
yeah, fucking
like these guys can be fans of that team just because. And so I mean, it can't be a draw because there's some lore. I think Devontae Adams spoke about it too when he was there. There's a lot of guys who talk about being a Raider. Marshawn Lynch when he went to be a Raider.
Yeah. Well, Marshawn Lynch is a different animal though too.
Well, he's probably coming out of retirement for at least 2 games.
Right.
Honestly, though, he probably is going to come coach because he's been coaching high school and stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if Pete Carroll brings him in as an RB's coach or like a running game coordinator type position. That wouldn't surprise me at all. I wouldn't be surprised to see other guys too. Cam Chancellor. I don't know if Earl Thomas is doing okay. So maybe his job. Dude, Russell Wilson would be a great coach.
Yeah, he can tell everyone when there's a pass.
Exactly. Dude, it would be great. I don't see what could possibly go wrong here.
Oh, he's gonna quarterback for him first.
Yeah,
Pete's gonna get his quarterback back.
Unless they've mended their relationship, because they had a bad relationship at the end there in Seattle. And especially when his first year here, Pete Carroll was going out of his way to dunk on Russell Wilson and talk about how much better the situation was. And it's the same shit Sean Payton is saying this year.
Oh, yeah.
About how much better, how last year was doom and gloom and awful and whatever the quote was. Like that's the same shit they were saying about Russell Wilson in Seattle. So I don't see that happening unless they have some kind of fence mending, because I don't think Pete Carroll needs that.
No, like, Russell's one with the Lord, so he knows to forgive your fellow man.
If anything, they bring in Geno Smith. I don't know what Seattle's doing at quarterback next year, but if we're talking about former Pete Carroll quarterbacks, I think that's more likely than anybody else. Is Matt Flynn still in the league? I'm kidding.
Yeah, well, I think Matt Flynn is probably more pissed off at Pete Carroll than Pete Carroll is pissed off or doesn't like Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he brought him in for the record, whatever it was, like $75 million contract after 2 good games with the Packers, and then doesn't even get out of camp as the starter. Doesn't get to play a game because Russell Wilson's in there, 3rd round pick. Yeah, I don't think Flynn will ever let that bridge unburn.
Oh no, no, that thing's gonna smolder through all eternity, even more than the burning bush that Moses found. I mean, it's gonna be interesting. Good for Pete that he can still do it. I guess it's what, 78,
something like that. Well, that dude he's gonna, health reasons will be the only thing that keeps him from coaching. Either he passes away in a job, or he can't stand anymore. He just loves this shit so much. He is invigorated by coaching and by teaching people football and all that. He's just one of those dudes, man. That's what he does.
I was gonna say, you guys have the wrong reason why he'll retire. He has to get a new jaw and he can't chew gum anymore.
That's it. Yeah.
It's like josselitis or something. He can't chew gum, can't be on the sideline.
Lockjaw.
Yeah. He has lockjaw. Then he has Russell Wilson chew it for him. Listen to everything he said.
I don't know. It's going to make the AFC West interesting. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Pete Carroll has the resume to impress anybody he stands in front of. So, 3 out of 4 teams have good quarterbacks. It's just a matter of what the Raiders can do with what money they might have. Nobody really knows. The Raiders are kind of an enigma.
I'm sure they have money. They don't have any bad contracts that they're still paying off from.
That we know of.
No, they do. It's all their old coaches.
Yeah, that's fine. That's off the cap. Nobody cares.
But actually, it does matter in reality. It really does, because if you're signing guys to guaranteed money, we found this out with the Russell Wilson deal. You have to have at least that much money in escrow.
Oh yeah.
And I know that the Broncos, we learned this because the Waltons, they can, okay,
they
200 million,
money.
Whatever.
Yeah,
not a big deal to have that money ready, all paid off and everything like that. But for the Raiders, with all this money they owe, they have to have that cash available. And I'm not an expert on the finances ins and outs of the NFL, but what I do believe I have heard is that the Raiders are a cash poor team.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Well, that's why you see people buying in, because they need to sell a little bit of stock. Mm-hmm. You didn't that. That's why that's the team Tom Brady was able to buy a stake in. It's not like Tom Brady had any affinity for the Raiders specifically. It's because they were the ones that were selling pieces.
Yeah, so, it will make it more difficult as far as kicking the can down the road and paying guys at least up front and getting a lower cap hit for the Raiders. But you have a Super Bowl winning coach there now. This division, with Andy Reid, now we have 5 Super Bowls? 5 Super Bowls, right?
1, 2, 3.
This would be 4 for Reid. So 3 with Reid, 1 with Harbaugh, 1 with Carroll, or one with Harbaugh, excuse me, 1 with Peyton, 1 with Carroll.
Yep.
Right? Because Harbaugh lost. So there's, 5 Super Bowls just in coaches in this division. It's going to be
6, because Andy won with the Eagles too, didn't he?
No, that was what's his name, who just got fired in Jacksonville.
Oh shit,
quarterback
that's right.
with Doug Peterson.
Doug Peterson.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, no, Andy Reid made it to 5 or 6 straight NFC Championship games and only got the Super Bowl once and lost it.
Right.
And then now has made it to 7 or 8 straight AFC Championship games. Andy Reid they should rename the AFC Championship trophy after Andy Reid, because that thing is, or just both of them. They're both now the Andy Reid trophy.
I'm glad you said that, because Bill Belichick decided to open his little pen holder this morning.
Good.
And said that Tom Brady, actually, the Lombardi Trophy.
She's at least 18. We all know.
Yes. Tom Brady should have the Lombardi Trophy named after him. And it should no longer be named after Vince Lombardi, the first coach to win the Super Bowl, because you can't win without the players, he said.
I wanted you to just get super absurd with that and just be it's the Lombardi Trophy. You can't call it something else. He won the trophy because it's the Lombardi Trophy,
He won the Brady Trophy. He won the Lombardi Trophy.
He was the
Which
first
one
one to
sounds
win
better?
the Lombardi Trophy. It's not his fault they named it after him.
Well, I mean, if it was the Brady Trophy for all this time, it would sound ridiculous to call it the Lombardi Trophy. But yes, it is ridiculous to call it the Brady Trophy.
Yeah. Oh, he won
Now,
7 of them. Good for him.
yeah. Well, you also can't. Like, why would you do that right now? You just said it. Patrick Mahomes has been to 7 straight AFC Championship games.
Yep.
You call it the Brady, then what happens? Is it the
What happens if Mahomes wins 8?
Mahomedy?
Does it become a
Holmes?
mantle? You know, like every few years we change it. Like first it was Lombardi, now it's Brady, then it becomes Mahomes, then it's Wembenyama.
Pat Tom Brady Holmes.
Well, it'll be the Arch Manning in a few years. You know, we'll just name it after the current greatest quarterback.
Speaking of future Raiders.
Speaking of future Raiders.
I don't think the Mannings would allow that.
I don't know, man. I've heard Shadur's fallen down draft boards. That still may end up being the way they go, which I hate. But, you know.
If Dion lets him. You
he
got
would.
to remember, Dion's going to be involved in that too. And
why would Dion tell him not to go to Vegas with Tom Brady?
Because it's the Raiders?
I was talking about Arch Manning going there, you know.
Yeah, I know.
No,
but that's what I'm saying is he might not get a chance because Shadur is falling down draft boards.
Oh,
so
I got
might be the Raiders' answer is, you know, getting somebody else this year because, or who knows, maybe it's like Milroe or one of those other lower tier guys that starts moving up draft boards.
Or maybe they just pull a Cardinals and draft 2 quarterbacks at their top 5 picks in back-to-back years.
And there you go. You know, although that means that Shadur Sanders is Josh Rosen in this analogy, so I don't like that as much. But you never know.
Well, we don't like it as much, but it easily could be true because we never know what happens hitting that next level with some of these guys.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot to say about fit. I mean, I hope it's not true. I'm not saying it is going to be, but you never know what happens if these guys start to get hit. And the way Shadur took some punishment last year, he's tough as nails, but it's different when you're facing grown ass men.
Well,
and he could not be long for this game, and he could see ghosts like Sam Darnold.
Like, and for a lighter comparison too, I mean, you look at all the talk that Bronny was getting when he was in high school and heading up to USC. You know, everybody thought, oh, he's going to take LeBron's place and he's the next GOAT and blah, 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 blah. Ooh, we love Bronny. He's going to go to the Lakers. And he goes to the Lakers, and what happens? Steps on his dick, can't shoot anything. He's working for Homes for Humanity right now, and he's sitting in the G League.
G League special.
Barely even made. I don't even think he got recognition for the All-Star game. I mean, I'm not trying to knock him or anything, but they're looking at his name and they're assuming that he's going to be as good as Daddy, if not better. And that tree isn't going to give you the same fruit every time or anything better. It's going to be up to the kid to show how good he is. And again, I'm not trying to knock Bronny because he didn't choose his dad and his mom.
No,
he just kind of there's the little sperm and there it goes. And so here we are now with 20-year-old Bronny that's trying to find his way not only through the world, but he's trying to find his way through a professional NBA career too. And he's got to live in his dad's shadow. So I mean, that kid's got 3 strikes on him. He's already 0 for 1.
And he's never been very good. Like
no
one's ever looked at Bronny James and said, we think he's going to be a good basketball player. He's never played good. He didn't play good in high school. Well, he did for high school, but it's high school. He wasn't putting up crazy numbers. Nobody was projecting him to be really. That's why he went to USC. USC is not a basketball school. Like that's not a program that gets a lot of one and done into the NBA guys. And then he had that heart problem, so everyone wasn't even sure if he was going to be able to play it out. Like Bronny James does not belong in the NBA. Like he put up 30 points in a couple of G League games. Great. JJ Redick put him in the game against Philly and he had no points and given up turnovers and looked horrible. And he was out. He's 6'2".
All I need is Bronny James in one useless game to score 20 points and get a double-double. Either
this
one.
Year?
Yeah, this year.
Yeah,
Jesus, dude.
There's no way.
Not gonna happen.
I don't care what it is.
Not gonna happen.
Well, there's a reason why $20 pays like $500 for that.
Yeah, because that's
I'm sure. Yeah.
honestly, that payout seems low. You should get thousands, because that's no.
Yeah, September call up. There he is.
He'll get more playing
hello,
time,
Charlotte.
so it's more likely. But by the end of the season, I want to go back and look at who has the higher scoring game: Bronny James or Zeke Najee.
Probably
Because Zeke Najee is a better basketball player than
I think Bronny probably.
And
as
you
much as I
can't
don't
say
like
that.
That's interesting, but it's a probably, and that's more so because Zeke Najee he's never going to be on Malone's good list anymore.
No. No, he's well beyond done with that team at this point. It's just a matter of them finding a way to get rid of him.
It's one of the worst contracts in the NBA. It's infuriating. Like you can't even give it away. Like they had to give away, what was it, 2 or 3 second-round picks just to get Reggie Jackson off the books in order to get under the second apron. So like it's barring some kind of like draft pick dump trade where the Nuggets pull a Phoenix Suns and trade 1 pick for 3 or 4 and then trade one of those with Zeke Najee for basically nothing. They're kind of stuck with him for the duration of this terrible contract. It's not like a huge amount, so it's not like the worst in the NBA because the NBA has a ton of those, Bradley Beal. But like it's really bad, and he's got no value because he can't play. So all of a sudden, you have, I forget, I think it was like 5th and 6th highest paid players in Zeke and Dario Saric just don't see minutes. And that's insane.
Yeah. Well, what's not seeing minutes is this topic that we're going to talk about.
We kind of touched on it, and the Nuggets just ended up losing 122 to 112. So,
wait, 122? Did Mikal Bridges get the last basket? I hope he did.
I don't know. I'm just looking at the score. It's popping up through all my different apps now.
I needed 15 for Mikal. I thought he would do it against the Nuggets, and I have a feeling that it didn't happen.
No, I'm gonna say no.
I'm not sure. All
right.
Now they're all hugging. So.
Nope, it did not. He ended at 13. That's okay. Carl Anthony Towns got me 10 boards, so that's all right.
Okay, good.
Well, speaking of burning bridges,
Carl Anthony Towns and the bridges in between Mikal Bridges. I don't know. I thought you were talking about the bridges in between St. Louis or Minnesota, like the Twin Cities.
No, I was just using your quote from earlier with Mikal Bridges, and then everyone got quiet, and that was actually funny.
I was just trying to find the connection. I thought there was,
Burning.
I thought there was I was in a bigger perspective.
Bridges burnt that bet.
Yeah, that didn't work.
No, it did. I was just like, burning bridges. I was like, well, because I thought you were talking about Carl Anthony Towns leaving. I didn't know.
Yeah,
that was Minnesota looks dumb for that. Since we're on that real quick, like, wow, what a huge mistake. And maybe they figured out by moving Julius Randle and getting something for that actually fits their team. But having the team of Jokic beaters and then trading away the best one of the 3 bigs that is kind of the formula for beating Jokic. And now he's in New York balling out because Tom Thibodeau loves him a big man. And and then they got Julius Randle over there and wondering, why did the Knicks want to get rid of this guy?
They go to New York this summer. That's happening. Definitely happening. So, it's the calm before the storm week. Both teams are practicing and getting themselves ready. Chiefs are going to wear their white jerseys. Apparently, the team that's won the most Super Bowls has worn the white jerseys. So, Kansas City thinks that's going to help them. We'll find out. But everybody's favorite portion of this Super Bowl coming up, this year at least, is the ads. And right now, ads are upwards of $8 million for 30 seconds, 45 seconds. You're running $8 million just to put your ad in there. That doesn't count the money it takes to actually make the ad.
Remember when it was like the first $1 million commercial for the Super Bowl, Nick? I don't know if you remember that.
Oh, yeah.
I remember like the first $1 million commercial was like, oh my God, they're spending $1 million on this. And everyone was sitting there waiting in anticipation for what it was.
Yeah.
High Life. Remember the opposite one when it was
The 1 second.
The 1 second, it was like
Yeah.
$250,000 for 1 second. And
Yeah.
it was they
Highlight.
ran the whole ad campaign leading up to it with that guy who was their spokesperson forever. He's like, "Oh man, I'm getting my practice," and then it comes up and he's just high life.
That's it.
So good. Best Super. Remember when Super Bowl commercials were good?
You still find a few here and there. They're more elaborate now, I think, which takes away from a lot of the goodness, the quality that we all got used to.
I disagree. I think they're less elaborate. I think they're just phoning it in and putting in stuff.
No, they're making
There's
too
lot
big of a
less,
story.
like, original commercials. Half of them you've seen already. The other half are generic and not that funny and not that weird or interesting. And like, it feels like they've gone away from all the really fun, the
Budweiser frogs.
Oh yeah,
Budweiser frogs. You got the robot, the assembly line robot that kills itself. People breaking into every vending machine for whatever Snickers or Mountain Dew. It didn't matter. Those were all
Chicken
fun.
Shaggy, the Shaggy commercial. It wasn't me.
Baby monkey chicken, like all these other ones. Yes, they had great ones, but I think
it was the dancing monkey baby or whatever.
Yeah, Mountain Dew. I think it was. Yeah, E-Trade baby.
Yep.
But so if you guys are watching, if you're watching the games and you're watching the commercials now, there are some hints as to who's spending some money on some commercials.
Oh yeah.
If you guys remember, in the victory formation, we always do choose the highest viewed commercial. So, I don't want to give any help to you guys, but I feel like you might need it because there were some hints last week as to what's upcoming.
Then that was part of why I picked this topic too, was because I know when just before the Super Bowl comes, we're gonna pick our advertisement, not company, but because it's just too many for us to pick. But car, chips, soda, beer,
the genre, whatever
the
genre is of the commercial.
Yeah.
But I do think the Bud Light one last week was pretty great. If you guys saw that,
I haven't seen it yet.
It's Post Malone and
Shane Gillis. Yeah,
can't drink until the end of the commercial.
4, 3, 2.
That was a pretty good one.
Yeah.
And so I sit here and I wonder, I'm like, is that true? And so I can't really say I've watched a lot of TV since that football game. I'm wondering if I do see people drinking, or are they all just cheersing in commercials?
I did the same thing. I was like, wait a minute.
Is this true?
Do they drink actually?
They definitely used to. Something might have changed where they're not allowed to anymore. Because I've definitely seen like plenty of Coors Light, with the LL Cool J comes in with the train and they crack them and they're actually taking drinks and stuff. Like I've seen those for sure, but I also don't pay that much attention to the exact. My favorite one is I forget even what the commercial is for, but it's like, can you do this? Well, is every quarterback accurate? And then Tim Tebow throwing keys at the valet and he just hits the fucking windshield and breaks it. I should have just ran it. Like that's what I'm looking for in commercials. Weird, hilarious, or like the overly excited guy in a commercial that's just does not fit but makes me happy. That's what I'm looking for.
Speaking of looking forward, are we going to watch the Pro Bowl this weekend, guys?
Probably.
I mean,
the games to see how they are.
Yeah,
all the Broncos are opted out of it.
Yeah, I'll tune in. Well, I mean, Nick's already had his procedures planned, and he was 4th on the depth chart anyway. So, if I were him, I would have done the same thing. I'd rather have my, knee scoped or whatever than hope to God I'm getting to go to Orlando.
And now he gets to flex on Russell Wilson and Drake May because he was asked before them. So the guy in his rookie class, suck it, I got asked first, and Russell Wilson, suck it.
Yes, that's totally Bo Nix.
100%.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll tune in for sure. I love the skills channel. I mean, we talked about this last week. I love the skills competition. Since they brought those back, that makes me happy. The game itself, I can watch it for a little bit, but I think at some point it's going to get kind of dumb because it's flag football and it's mostly Manning versus Manning.
I just hope that I have to fall asleep. I'm ready to fall asleep by the time the game starts. There's not going to be anything keeping me awake on that for that game at all.
Well, what they need to do is get rid of that stupid point system that they have for the events or whatever. So like they're doing all these side events and they're getting like team points, like a golf team or like fucking the Olympics or whatever, and none of it makes any sense. So then when the actual Pro Bowl game starts, the score is already like 35-12 or something because there's already been other stuff. And then the touchdowns still count, but like the scoreboard is not a regular scoreboard because they've already accumulated points for the skills, and it's dumb. And it's very just awkward. So you have no idea what's going on, what scores you points. Which would be funny if it was like hosted by Drew Carey and he was like, everything's made up and the points don't matter. But that's not what they're doing. They're trying to make it an actual competition. But like at the end of it, it was like 128 to like 100. I don't know.
Well, I mean, the same score would have happened in an actual Pro Bowl if they would have let them go out and play tackle football because no defender is going to be covered. It's going to be like 78 to 84 in the third quarter because nobody's playing defense.
And I do want to make sure you do know this, Joe.
I know.
But it is Aisha Tyler who hosts Whose Line Is It Anyway now.
I know that now, yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Drew Carey used to.
Lana!
Lana!
Exactly. That's how we get ants.
It's Lana.
Lana!
Yes.
Yeah, is the show still on? I'm pretty sure it's canceled.
Oh no! They still
I don't know. They still do reruns.
I think it still runs. Sometimes I don't know. I'm gonna Google that one while we're.
One of my favorite things. Did you ever watch the original British version?
Yeah.
They had the therapist from Office Space was one of the regulars on it. Deeper and deeper.
2013 to present.
Oh, really? Oh,
okay.
What channel is it on?
Is it still Lana though, or is it somebody else?
No, Lana is the host.
Okay, good. Yeah, we know her name.
Wayne Brady, Colin Mockery, and Ryan Stiles are still the main guys. But
is Wayne Brady gonna have to smack a bitch?
He's gonna have to smack a bitch. Yeah, no, there's still. It looks like it's on the CW.
Oh, nice.
That's why you probably don't know that it's on anymore.
We all forget Channel 2 exists.
You guys still have channels?
I still live in a world where I have channels, yes. I don't stream everything like everybody else in this world.
I have an antenna.
Yeah, nice.
I think my old roommate stole it because an antenna does not fucking disappear. And that shit is gone. I was trying to watch a Bronco game on local CBS, and I'm like, how is my antenna not here? And they're like, oh, yeah, Mike moved out. I'm like, oh, fuck.
That would be
why. A new one. They're like $10.
Yeah, but that time the game had already started, and I only needed it for that one game and didn't care enough.
You're going to need it for other games.
Not the way things are going.
Yeah, true.
You see, there's this stream that comes from the east.
Yeah, so I've heard. All right, moving on. We're getting carried away with this now. So there's more coming out about this whole Miko thing. I don't know if you guys have heard. So now it's sounding like the Avs offered him just under what Miko wanted. Miko was told this is what you're going to get, and after he turned it down, he was shipped off to Carolina. From what I'm hearing, it sounds like Miko may need to get a new agent who's telling him not to take that money because he thinks he can get Draisaitl money. He's not Draisaitl. Sorry.
He's going to get Draisaitl money.
He's not going to get Draisaitl, but he's going to get more than what the Avs offered him. And he's going to get it from, he's going to get a bidding war now. But I don't know.
I'll bet you guys right now that he's getting more than Draisaitl.
No, he's not. He's not Draisaitl.
But isn't Draisaitl a different position that's more valuable?
That's why he's not going to get it, because he's not the same position, and Draisaitl's better. As much as it pains me to say.
Well, Draisaitl's a Hart candidate this year. Like it's Draisaitl, McKinnon, and somebody else. for Hart Trophy this year. Like Draisaitl's playing better than
playing great.
McDavid.
I'm still thinking he's going to get more than Draisaitl.
I don't think so. And I mean, but the thing is, everybody's still, there's so many Avs fans that are still mad about it. Nothing says he can't come back.
I wouldn't bet on that. The Avs aren't
soon.
No, if you got shipped off from your job and you had a chance to go back to your best friends to work with them again, and all of this was bad information from your agent, and you're gonna get a chance to go back to where home is, I'm taking that.
Well, I mean, okay. I guess it really does depend on who burned the bridge. There we go, full circle, baby.
Speaking of,
if they were going back and forth, and Rantanen had told his agent to tell them one thing, and the agent told the Avs something different, and that's why the Avs shipped him off, then yeah, that would, that's on his agent, and it's also going to be, who does he believe? His agent, who's been with him. I think he's had his agent, the same agent, the whole time. Since his draft.
Since
his draft, yes.
Yeah.
Since he was brought into the NHL, and so, like, is he going to trust that guy and his word over what the Avs are putting out there? Does Joe Sakic give him a ring on his phone and say, "Hey, this is what happened. We wanted to have you back. We didn't know that was it. Your agent, this is exactly what he told us." Once the offseason hits, I mean, maybe.
Well, him and McFarland have had conversations with Nate.
Well, yeah, I'm sure.
And Gabe.
Yeah, Gabe doesn't really matter as much right now, unfortunately.
He still has the C on his sweater.
That's true, but like the
there.
problem too is that from what I've understood, the Avs may have pulled the trigger a little bit too soon and sooner than anybody thought they would. I think it was our guy Scrappy Will who was talking about it on the radio yesterday. I want to say that Jerry Bednar looked surprised that this happened.
Everybody
did
was.
not look that he knew this was about to happen. So it seems like, and it could be a little bit of everybody's at fault.
Yeah.
Like it's not just the agent. Like it's not like Elvis Dumerville.
Yeah.
Where it's like, bro, the agent should have been able to send a goddamn fax. But like the Avalanche may have just pulled the trigger, and maybe it's because they liked this deal. They like the I almost said basketball IQ, so I'm just gonna say it. They like the basketball IQ of Nietzsche's, and they like the idea of those guys kind of meshing better and the fit more so than having 3 of the top 10 guys in hockey, which is a great thing to have. And so Mikko, I think, felt blindsided. And I don't know if it's just his agent or if it was a combination of his agent and the Avalanche, or it could have been just the Avalanche. But it's definitely not Mikko's fault. That guy's, we love Mikko.
But that's what I'm saying is if his agent went to the Avs and said, "Nope, that offer you gave us is unacceptable. We're not listening to anything anymore."
Ooh, that's a different story.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, if that happened, then I don't blame the Avs for pulling the trigger, because you have to make that trade as soon as possible, because if there's no other options available, if there's no wiggle room, higher, lower, whatever, up, down, in, out, that's the way we twist and shout. Like, there's then you have to pull the trigger and you have to make the trade as soon as possible. So if it's his agent saying something like, "No, we don't accept your offer," it's a slap in the face. We're not negotiating anymore. When Mikko's on the other hand saying, "Hey, I would have taken less money than these guys to play there and stay in Denver," like, it sounds, if that is the case, then yeah, I could see a reunion happening, but I still don't see it happening right away. I mean, after 1 year, it could happen during his free agency. But Joe, you said it also. There's going to be a bidding war out there, and like I said, I think he's going to become the richest free agent contract in hockey history.
I don't know, but maybe, but I don't think he's, and it'd be like a Kirk Cousins or Jordan Love type thing, where it's, yeah, he gets the contract, but he's not like a top guy. But no.
Well, there he goes.
And there he is. Looking like a Tasmanian devil right now.
Well, we'll wait for him to come back, and we'll just continue.
I don't know. Yeah, well, there he goes.
No, he's not moving.
I don't know. I mean, obviously, this is all we all have to take what we hear with a grain of salt, because we weren't there. We're not part of the McFarland Sackey talks. We're not privy to what Miko's agent told him, what contract was offered. But as blindsided as almost everybody involved was, there's got to be a point where there's got to be a little bit of truth to something. Again, all the players were blindsided. I mean, you could hear it in Nate's voice the next night when they're like, "Have you talked to Miko? Have you this? Have you that?" And he's like, "I haven't had a chance to talk to him, and I'm not going to talk to him now because we just lost." But
yeah.
And so, I mean, there's a lot of that going on right now, and it's putting the pieces of the puzzle together as best as we can, because nobody's going to give us the full story.
Yeah. And sorry, just to go back to what I was saying before, the way I had heard it before it cut off on me, the way Will had framed it was that Miko was under the impression that he had 6 more weeks. So whether that was, again, like Colin said, maybe the agent telling the Avalanche that negotiations were off the table when they were not off the table, that was just the current state of them, or the Avalanche decided, we don't have time to go through this, we have to make this trade now, or whatever. Either way, the impression that I had heard is that Miko thought he had 6 more weeks. Sorry.
Yeah, no, and it sounded like Miko thought he had time too. So that's why, I mean, Nick bringing up the agent part, I think it depends. And you said a little bit of truth lies in all of this, and we'll see where it ends up. I don't think, like, it feels kind of like it's messy, but it's not really that messy. I think it just happened where
I think it got
the
messier.
Avs got a really good offer.
Yeah. Well, I think it got messier than it needed to be. And, some of this could just be misinterpretation of what somebody said, or, somebody just overthinking what's going on. I mean, but we talked about it last time too. And Colin, you said the same thing I did, only we just said it on different shows. You learn from what goes on around you too, and the Avalanche know that it's better to get something for a potential free agent than it is to let them go and get nothing.
Yep.
Thank you, Colorado Rockies. I love you.
Almost as much as I love the Kansas City Chiefs. So I'm wearing a shade of red for this show.
It's burgundy.
There you go.
It's a shade of red.
It's burgundy. You're a Rapid fan today.
I'm a
Avalanche fan.
Avs fan.
Scotch.
What's wrong with the Rapids?
Do you use Crimson? There's the Rapids, but let's not mince things.
You're a Mammoth fan.
It's a shade of red.
It's just because of Ray Romano.
It's for
the
Chiefs.
It's not red.
It's a shade.
It's not a shade. It's more of a purple than it is a red.
Your shade.
Don't throw shade at my shade.
You know what? Why don't you and Adam Silver go talk about your 10-minute quarters?
Cool.
How stupid is that?
It's never gonna. It should never happen.
No,
yeah.
It's stupid. I heard that today, and I literally laughed out loud. I heard that and I went, ha!
Like, there's certain things that the commissioner of a league just shouldn't say.
Yes.
And suggesting drastic rule changes like that. He just said it on Twitter, right?
No, he said it.
Oh, he said it
in an interview with Dan Patrick.
There it is, Dan Patrick. Thank you.
Okay. So that makes more sense. But that is almost worse, because at least he's being honest and like talking about ideas that he has. But like, dude, you've got to workshop that before you just say it. You can't just like that. That's a terrible idea. And I get it. Why? Like, they don't want to shorten the amount of games because they don't want to make less money. They don't want less advertising minutes or whatever. But like, the product is falling off, and so they got to do something. Shortening the amount of time that players play would help with load management, could help with some stuff, but that is not the fucking answer.
Well, but
it's to just make the game short to change. That puts an asterisk on every championship going forward past that.
But you said the load management thing, and that's never going to go away. That cat has already been let out of the bag. Do you think because they shorten games to 10 minutes or shorten games to 10-minute quarters each quarter by 8 minutes, that is going to change load management for these players? Do you think, unless there is a hard and steadfast rule with this, it would have to be a two-prong rule where it's like, hey, we're shortening the games. You can't load manage more than 2 times a season. Like, legitimately. And do you think then that the guys like Greg Popovich are going to find a way to get around that? Like, the cat's out of the bag as far as load management goes. So it's not going to change the fact that these guys aren't going to play on plenty of back-to-backs. I mean, what are you going to do? Tell Joel Embiid his knee's healthy? Just like the Nuggets were trying to tell Jamal Murray that his leg was healthy for the playoff run when he wouldn't go out there. Like, there's no way that just shortening the game is going to change what's already happening on the court, because these players have become accustomed to being able to take days off and still make their millions of dollars. So, like, if you told me that I only had to work 7-hour days and still get paid for 40, would I still call in sick sometimes? Hell yeah. Like, it's not going to change that fact, but would I be like, oh man, well, gee, because this is only a 7-hour day instead of an 8-hour day, I'm showing up today. Like, I don't feel great, but man, I'm going to show up because it's only 7 hours instead of 8. Hell no.
Well, and so it was funny too, because I saw I could my stupid timeline refresh before I could get it for you guys, but I saw this thing earlier, and the total games Embiid has played was like 414 or something, and the total games missed in his career 400.
Yeah, like I said, you're going to have to change the rule with load management if you're going to do this. The Cats, it's out of the bag. They're going to continue on with it.
I mean,
I understand the players will be fresher. They should play more minutes. You know, this would be Malone's. Malone would be in his freaking like champagne room at this point, busting nuts all over the place, popping bottles, because now he doesn't have to worry about playing the rookies, because he can just play his veterans all damn day. Like, that would make him the happiest man on the earth.
But I mean, number one, it's 2 minutes. It's 2 minutes. That's nothing. If you can't condition yourself to play for 12 minutes instead of 10, then I don't know what you're doing. You know what the game is. Growing up, Colin, you knew growing up you wanted to be a professional baseball player. You knew you had to do 9 innings. You were an infielder. Yeah. You were going to get 3-4 at-bats per game. I was a catcher. I knew I was going to be sitting behind that stupid dish, wearing all that gear, sweating in 98-degree weather, thinking life is great because I'm a Major League Baseball player. Now you're telling me I have to cut it to 7 innings because, oh, we want to do a little bit of load management. I mean, my knees would love it, but I'm conditioned to do 9 innings. That's what I'm aiming for, and these guys should be striving for being able to play 12 minutes instead of 10.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying though. They're now not conditioned to be playing in all of the games.
No, they're not, and I mean
that's the change. So it doesn't matter if you're playing 10-minute quarters or 12-minute quarters. These guys are not gonna. They're still gonna take all their load management days or want them.
I don't know. It's frustrating because it's so hard because it's such a unique profession. Because a lot of these guys do so much in the off season to prepare themselves for the incoming season. But at the same time, you can just live in your big old house. You have a caterer or a chef. You have, a masseuse. You have a trainer. You have the ability.
Not
to do
every guy has.
No, but
Nick, let's not say these guys spend a lot of time in the off season. Like, how many times have we mentioned Luka coming into the season? How many times have we talked to Jokic? Only in the past 3 years has really come in shape. There are plenty of years he didn't. No, many of these guys play themselves into shape over the season.
That's why I said a lot.
And part of that playing into shape is taking these load management BS days.
But that's why I said a lot.
2 minutes a quarter, 8 minutes a game is not going to make it different.
And I don't know. I have a hard time with it, and I think some of it just comes from just the discipline of the game itself, or just discipline itself, because you want to be able to do more and still be able to play. You want to be able to play all 4 quarters and then some if you need to, and to have that conditioning. And I wasn't trying to say every player is like LeBron, where they have everything set up for him in the off season, and here's your schedule.
Man, Hunter Tyson's masseuse, like that guy's really good.
I'm just saying that.
At least
Yes, we all need a day off here and there, and even as a professional athlete, nobody's going to be Cal Ripken Jr. Nobody's going to be Lou Gehrig. There's going to be guys that are going to play games, but okay. But I mean, everybody needs a day off here and there. You do need to be able to collect yourself mentally as well as physically, and running up and down a court for 48 minutes is a difficult thing to do. I will admit that. But at the same time, you should be able to do that without needing half your season to be load management, because you're making so much money and we got to protect our assets, blah blah blah, whatever.
Like I said, I think that we're too far gone in this to get rid of the load management thing, and just think that, like I said, my opinion is that shortening the game doesn't change the fact that these guys are still going to do that and find a way to sit out games. And Joel Embiid will still not have played a game in Denver until the end of his career because he's afraid.
Well, I mean, Joel Embiid, he's kind of done. I mean, we'll see if he gets back healthier maybe next year at this point, but he looks awful. He doesn't look like he may ever be healthy again. So I'm less concerned with guys like that. And teams aren't going to stop pushing load management. The teams are terrified of their stars getting hurt. Look at the Clippers. The Clippers are one of the strongest proponents of load management in the league. Making Kawhi and Paul George take so many games off. And then you see how much it actually hurts them in the long run, because they're not playing themselves into shape. They're not strengthening those tendons by doing the motions that they're going to be doing in the playoffs. So the Clippers look like a juggernaut in the regular season and then always fall off, because they're one of the teams that pushes load management on their players more than any other team does. And it's teams have to realize that it works to an extent to keep your guys relatively healthy, but you cannot do it to the level of the Clippers, to the level of the Sixers with Joel Embiid. Like it's not going to help.
Real quick, Colin, I just want to answer a couple of these comments right here real quick. Dalvin's security. I understand that baseball and basketball are different. It was a metaphor for Colin and I, because we both really like baseball to help him establish, and we both played it very seriously. Also, catching, you ain't running, dude. You go squat for 9 innings with a bad, terrible pitcher,
first base.
and you're running down to first base every at bat. There's more to catching than you think. So if you can do 9 innings, I'll buy you a steak dinner without complaining.
Yeah, come do 9 with us in my men's league on Sunday.
There we go.
You're welcome. Any skill level, it's all right. We suck anyway, so it wouldn't make a difference if you're out there or not.
So, I mean, again, it was a metaphor to help Colin understand where my brain was working.
Yeah, not the same calisthenics,
No.
but it's definitely work. They're all work. I'm not saying any of this isn't work.
No.
So don't get that wrong. But yeah, the conditioning, like I said, it's just getting players less time on the court, and it's they're saying you're going to get a better product, but I'm not buying the fact that if you shorten a game you're getting a better product and you're getting more players to play, because they're still going to take the load management takes. That's all I'm saying, is that this has gotten started, so it's going to continue. And just because you shorten games, maybe a career gets lengthened by a year, but I don't really see the overall benefit of it, because the coaches are gonna find ways to put guys in other situations. Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, it's not. I mean, it's obviously not going to happen, but that's where we're at. So, what else we're at?
Oh.
Colin's favorite moment.
This is the victory formation.
All right, boys, here we go. Best play in football. 6 right tight diamond victory on 1. Break.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, it's jam.
The Pick'em segment, proving that Colin Zanker is the most humble man in the history of time. Least. Featuring Nick Archuleta wishing he was somewhere else. And Joe Goodwin just kind of winging it.
That's right, everybody. Welcome into the Victory Formation, where we make real bets with fake money. And it's one thing that we will tell you all. Thank you for watching, tuning in, and engaging with us today. We'll just give you a little bit of an insight into this. If we all choose the same winner, just choose the opposite. It's guaranteed to win you money. And it's proof this week because last week's results were, guess what? Kentucky versus Tennessee. All three of us chose Tennessee to beat Kentucky in Tennessee. And guess what? Tennessee lost to Kentucky. So we all lose $10 there.
Good.
Next game we chose. Oh, by the way, we all went 1-3 this week, or 1-2 this week.
Jeez.
Next game was the Stars versus the Golden Knights. Well, Nick and I chose the Golden Knights at home. That was idiotic. And the Stars come out victorious. So the big win of the week, Joe winning 20-50. And the last game was the Knicks versus the Grizzlies. The Knicks dominated the Grizzlies in New York. Thanks for being the sacrificial bear there, Joe, and choosing the Grizzlies, I guess, because Nick and I got 1571 out of that, meaning Nick and I both lost 429 last week. And Joe, you won 50 cents, bringing your number one overall total to 145.68. Let's get into the picks for this week as we get into the playoffs. And one thing I got to tell you, we were all looking forward to Pro Bowl picks, but you know what? Not allowed in Colorado. Cannot pick the Pro Bowl games, at least on DK. So you know what? You guys don't get the fun of seeing who we thought was going to win tug of war or which Manning is better. Peyton, obviously.
Thanks, DraftKings.
So no Pro Bowl pick'em, unfortunately. Unless something pops up, you can follow me on my X at Colin Zanker. I don't know if Nick will post anything, but I'll keep some stuff out there as far as if anything pops up. But I'm guessing that's not going to change before the Pro Bowl. So here are the games we got this week. We'll drop the puck and start things off in Calgary, up north of the border, as we have the Red Wings facing the Flames on Friday. Both teams have, I had this up and I didn't type it in. I believe it is 24 wins apiece, but either way, they have the same record.
That seems
Red
legit.
Wings or Flames, Nick?
Could be Calgary.
Calgary. He loves Nazem Kadri. I'm going with the Red Wings to keep with my theme of choosing red. Not really a theme.
It's a theme now.
Yeah.
You said it has to be.
Joe, I totally just skipped you, Joe. Sorry. Well, Joe, who you got? I'll let you know. You get to go first next.
Also, Calgary's red. No, I'm going to take the Flames too because Nazem Kadri, because I don't have another good reason. Fuck the Red Wings. That's a good reason.
All right, we move on to Suns versus Warriors. Once again, two teams that are very close in the standings. This game is in Golden State. Joe, who you got?
Sorry, I was reading. Golden State who?
Suns.
You're like, shit, who did I say? Fuck, those are both. It's still Golden State. The Suns are more of a garbage fire. But those are two teams that need to do something at the deadline. And sounds like the Suns aren't doing shit.
So you're taking Golden State.
Yeah.
And Michael, don't you dare go with the Red Wings if your feelings are wrong, because I need to win. All right, so Joe is going with the Warriors. Yes?
Yeah.
I am. I'm going with Joe with the Warriors. Let's go home team here, more than anything else. Nick, who you got?
I don't know. This seems like a one-off. Give me Phoenix.
I don't blame you. The Warriors have been pretty bipolar this season. You don't know which team is showing up. And next, we move on to another college basketball. This is a top 10 matchup. We have number 5, Florida Gators versus our old friends who just kicked our ass in the last game, number 8, Tennessee. Does anyone go back to the well? Colin's stupid enough to. So I'm taking Tennessee in this one at home over Florida. Nick, who you got?
Fool me once, shame on me. Give me the Gators.
Joe, who you got?
I wanted him to take the Vols so bad, just so I could have said, fuck it, I'm taking him again. Everyone take Gators. But now it's an actual game that I have to sort of think about. I'm not. I'm just going to take the Vols because it seems funny. Let's go.
Joe is one thing if not consistently taking a loser. So I feel
Thanks,
good
buddy.
about going 0-3 this week,
Also in
especially,
first place.
especially with Michael's insight into his feelings on games. Yeah, appreciate all you guys tuning in and getting involved with us. We got to hop off air so that we don't lose our Instagram. Oh, I want to do that. I want to send this show into space, baby.
As Colin sends it to space, I will say thank you everybody for tuning in tonight and jumping in and getting involved. We love being able to chat with you guys or argue with you guys or frustrate you guys. It's all fun and games to us. So thank you, Michael Spillane, and everybody over at e5280sports.com for hosting us. Thank you, Pikes Peak Sports Cards, our sponsor. And thank you to you guys. Without you, we couldn't, well, I mean, we could do this, but it'd be boring. So thank you for making it fun. Tune in again Saturday.
No, next week.
Oh, next week.
But I will make a deal before we go. I will make a deal before we go. Hey, Dalvin, if you want to come out and catch, I'll come run a full game of basketball with you. I'm not in shape, but I'll run. I'll run, all right? And we'll take video. Shoot, hit me up. We'll make it happen.
DMs are open.
At Colin Zanker.
Yeah, except for at DraftKings because you guys are jerks and don't let us bet on the Pro Bowl. Well, that's
yeah, unless you
they don't let
sponsor
you.
us.
They don't let you bet on WWE either.
It's a Colorado thing. So
They don't let you bet on WWE
the state
either.
of Colorado, get your crap together. Let us be degenerates.
Yeah. Let me pick some fake wrestling guys.
Yeah,
Let me pick
country.
Roman Reigns or anyway, for Colin Zanker and Joe Goodwin, I'm Nick Archuleta. This has been Undrafted, Uncensored. We'll see you guys next week because I forgot this is our second show already this week. So we'll see you next week and we'll argue some more. Love you guys.
Everybody.
I don't know anything about wrestling, but I'll bet on Rhea Ripley.
Nah, give me Liv Morgan
Sure.
Olivia
That
Dunn.
sounds like a
or Alexa